Okay, it's 6 p.m. We'll get this meeting started. Mayor Fowler sends her regards. She's unable to make it, so I'll kick off the meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. I'd ask Reverend Don Terry from All Good Methodist to lead us in invocation, and then Chief, would you do us the honors to lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Y'all please stand.
Almighty, we're grateful for this opportunity to get together and meet about this great city. We pray for wisdom for the council, for wisdom for all of us, for strength and for clarity. We pray, God, that you will help us to work and move according to your will and help us to have a good fellowship together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you all. You want to call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler, Honorable Councilman Bilbrey, Honorable Councilman Williams, Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins, here. Honorable Vice Mayor Hill.
Here. Agenda item number 1 will consider the approval of the agenda as presented. Slide over. Technical difficulties. I'll take a motion for the agenda. Ms. Ruby? That's a motion and a second. Go ahead and call.
Honorable Williams, yes. Honorable Hawkins, Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes. Item number 2, consider the minutes. We can do the same. Motion, Ms. Hawkins? Second. No discussion. Any discussion? I'll let you call it.
Honorable Williams, yes. Honorable Hawkins, yes. Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes. Thank you, thank you. Agenda item number 3, consider approval to suspend the reading of ordinance number 714-24. It's just to suspend the reading. We'll go over that in the next item. We're going to create a pattern here. Can I get a motion? Ms. Hawkins' turn.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? None. Let you call it.
Honorable Honorable Hawkins, Vice Mayor.
To say the floor will now be open for public hearing for second and final reading of ordinance 714-24. Consider approval first reading of ordinance 714-24, amending the fiscal year 24-25 budget passed by ordinance number 710-24. Before doing that and opening the floor for public hearing, Mr. Morrison, do you want to kind of give just a quick overview of what we're doing here?
I can. So there's a couple items on here. So one, we're increasing building permit revenue and increasing police department post revenue. We're also increasing building inspection expense and police department post expense. Those are a net zero change, $65,400 in, $65,400 out. So there's a net zero change there. In the PD, we're decreasing operating supplies, grant expense, and regular salaries by $19,000 so that we can increase PD training and PD overtime by $19,000. So again, that's a net zero change. The one that is making a change, we are decreasing general fund balance by $8,000 to increase the parks contributions by $8,000 to allow for a full-time employee to work at the Allgood Branch Library and extend the hours of that branch to where more folks will have access to it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. With that being said, I'll open the floor for a public hearing, pause the meeting, and open it up for anyone that has anyone that wants to say anything with regards to this change. Hearing none, I'll close that part of the meeting, and in order to consider the item, I'll take a motion. This motion is second. Discussion from anyone I'll ask Chief, overtime, we're increasing, the only thing that's not a net balance or a net even is PD training and PD overtime. Is there just, it's not a whole lot, but would love a narrative as to what exactly those funds will be used for. Overtime? Overtime and training. Okay, very good. Okay. Very good, very good. I will add to, just from commentary, the adding more time to library of the council. We just don't want to speak for everybody, but that was a net positive. Increasing more time for the librarian to move this to a full-time position was well received and a positive in our opinion.
Have more people using the thing than most of the other ones. It's got a full. Yeah.
We do. We have a higher attendance rate than Monterey, who already has a full-time position, and we are only funding a portion of this. The county will also be funding a portion, so this is shared cost expense. So this city and the citizens, in my opinion.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing no other comments, questions, I'll let you call the vote.
Honorable Williams.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes. That motion carries. Item number 5, consider approval of an agreement with Hope Church for the donation of a stage truck and golf carts for city use. Mr. Morrison, you want to speak to it?
Hope Church has the Trinity stage truck and the 2 limo golf cart trams that they were no longer using. They have donated those to the city under this memorandum of understanding that we will take those and use them and keep them up for a period of 5 years. If we were to sell them before the 5 years is up, any of the proceeds would be due back to the church. But if we keep them more than 5 years and continue to use them, then there's nothing at that point. Also in this agreement is if the church wishes to use those, since they were theirs to start with, they may lease those back for $1 a day, just as a fair use to do that. This was drafted by the city attorney, and we feel this is a positive. We use these throughout our events over and over and over again. So this was a good thing for us, and we appreciate the donation from Hope Church and the partnership.
I agree completely. I support it. May I take a motion in second? Miss Hawkins first, Roger second. I'll let you. Any other discussion? I agree, it's a great thing. I'll let you call the roll. Call the vote.
Honorable Williams. Yes. Honorable Hawkins. Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval to surplus 5 PD rifle cases for donation to the Overton County Sheriff's Department. Chief, you want to speak to it? It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you want to add anything. Absolutely.
They got anything we need? Unfortunately not.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve agenda item number 6 and surplus these 5 rifle cases. Ms. Hawkins, second. Any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion.
Honorable Williams. Yes. Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes. Item 6 carries. Item number 7. Consider approval to award the Buck Mountain tank and pump bid to a one of the bidders in the amount of that to be determined. I will let either Mr. Morrison. Do you want to speak to this?
I will. Mr. Bradshaw is not here tonight.
Yep.
So this is for the booster pump station that is at with this mountain, as well as the tank. The booster pumps have been in for a long, long time. They are an in-ground station that is way outdated and unsafe. So this is a partnership with Putnam County to fund this project to help us get more water on the mountain. We're currently pumping about 150,000 gallons a day on the mountain. So that is twice the capacity of the existing tank, and we don't want to continue to be in that position. This is a little higher than we expected. W&O Construction is the apparent low bidder at $1,638,000, with J. Cumbie Construction coming in at $2,070,000. We would recommend W&O Construction receive the bid. We also reached out to the low bidder to see if we could cost share and save some money. They have offered a deduction of $110,000 to eliminate an additional coating inside the tank that is not needed, and also to eliminate the brick from the booster station and just go with a split face block. We can deduct $11,000 for a final bid amount of $1,517,000. The county is considering additional funding for this. They had originally agreed to $500,000. They're going to reconsider to go to $800,000, leaving us to pick up the remaining portion, which is still a good cost share savings for us. It is a need for our water customers as well as for county residents on the mountain, and all of the pump system needs to be updated. So we'll need to award this to W&O in the original amount and also accept the change order to reduce the price. These pumps are probably from the late 70s. The tank's on the mountain. Of course, we have to keep it rehabbed and updated, so it's not in bad shape. It's just way too small. It was never designed for the amount of folks that are living on the mountain and the growth the county is experiencing. The pumps are running about 22 hours a day. So there's about 2 hours a day that they're not running to keep up with demand and keep the tank full. So this is a very important need. We've had several issues with the pumps in the last year. We've tried to keep them online. We actually keep an extra pump on the shelf just in case. Last year we had issues with backflow prevention devices that are on the pumps. We had to actually track through 2 vendors to try to find them and try to get them here as quick as we could because it wasn't functioning correctly, and it was taking everything we had to keep water on the mountain. So this is a tremendous need. Also, if the county doesn't dedicate this funding by December 31st, they'll have to find somewhere else to use it. So at that point, we would be on the hook for the full balance. So it would be my recommendation that we move forward with this project.
I'll second the motion. Heather, we'll third it by Ms. Hawkins. I will say, Mayor Porter, should we, and this might be a question for Danny, should we make this contingent on city or on county? Should it be contingent if we're going to go ahead and, county moving forward next week? That hasn't happened yet. I think so too. Yeah. The mayor came last night to our work session and committed. It was a high priority for Mayor Porter, and we appreciate him and the folks on the county commission on supporting this and partnering with us on this. It certainly is a much need in my opinion. And I agree with Keith. If we don't, even without the county, we probably need to be looking at it. But it takes a different look at a project if the county, for some reason, didn't approve it. I fully believe that they will, but that's just something to keep in mind. So. Do we need to, just second question, another one for Danny. Do we need to, the change orders, do we need to handle those separately, or should we? So I'll restate the motion that it's an approval to award W&O the bid of $1,638,000, contemplating a change order of $110,000 for the coating, and another $11,000 for the split face brick block.
Correct. That brings the contract price down to $1,517,000 for construction.
That is correct. There we go. That's motion and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Walker?
Honorable Williams? Yes. Honorable Hawkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill?
Yes. Motion carries. I don't think no other items on the agenda. City Administrator's report.
So City Hall will be closed December 24th, 25th, and January 1st. Trash route for December the 24th will run December the 23rd, so it'll run on Monday instead of Tuesday. Live Moss at Taco Bell starts tomorrow, so if you are signed up as one of their rewards customers, you can go through and get your picture taken and maybe end up in the Super Bowl commercial for Taco Bell from right here in Allgood, Tennessee. We also would like to commend 2 staff members who completed CMFO and who are now certified municipal finance officers. Anna Walker and Roy Phipps both completed their certificates to be a certified municipal finance officer, which is a year-long program, and they test each month, and some of those are very difficult, and they've worked really hard, and we want to commend them for their effort. And also improving how our city runs and operates and upholding a higher standard. So thank you. Department heads.
Spoke to NAFCO.
Chief.
So this past Saturday, we had our tree lighting event here at City Hall with Santa Claus and pictures with First National help us and staff, Ms. Walker and that.
Total
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief. Okay, with that being said, we'll enter into a portion of the meeting where we're hearing of citizens and or other delegations. Anyone want to speak, please come forward, state your name and your address, and the microphone is yours.
I'll break it wide open. My name's Jeremy Whitson. I live here in Allgood. We have a couple of businesses here on downtown. I just want to bring it to the attention and see if there's something that we may be able to do about the dump truck traffic coming down Main Street. It's been probably started up around April is when it really got, and obviously the past few weeks has been pretty bad, but it started about April when they actually opened the quarry back up more full time. The biggest effect, I think, is going to be from the furniture store to, say, City Hall. That's the biggest impact because it's, you've got 16 businesses that break that particular area. That's being, as being business people, we have real estate down here that we're a spot we're trying to lease. We actually have leased it today, but it's been an issue because people come in to look at the spot, a commercial space next to the coffee shop, and the braking and the trucks, and they're just like, we're out. This is not good. It's that stop sign. So I don't know really what we can do. I think I've had several conversations with Mr. Morrison. I'd like to try to find some kind of resolve because it is definitely a safety issue. And I think it's definitely impacting the businesses down there. And like I said, more so those in that specific area. So I don't know if it's a situation of, I don't know, reroute the traffic on Church Street, take it off away from those little small businesses right there so that we can, you know, have safety. And, you know, I've spoke to the people at the coffee shop. There's been several concerns with them. There's other businesses here that are in that particular area that, you know, we don't feel good about it. And we feel like there needs to be some kind of resolve. So I know that being there the other day, just in 6 minutes, there was 13 trucks come through in 6 minutes. And if you're sitting in there, I promise you it'll affect you. So anybody that would like to come down there and hang out outside the coffee shop or sit down outside, I'll open up the door. You can come in my place and we'll sit down and listen to it because it's pretty obnoxious. So, any questions for me?
I went to the site, the old institution, they're about half done. The top part there is 8 feet under grade. We're gonna take a spray out all the way down to where the sewer from the sewer, where the water drains. So they top they're only half done. Bring it all the way out. So that's gonna be, if you bring them 111, have them come in, you're just gonna bottleneck down there where everything, where all the vehicles are during the meeting, during lunch, food, and all this. I like the idea of Church Street, down the back of Church Street, through this.
Yeah.
I wanna help the people from here up, but, you know, you got a restaurant there, they might stop me.
Well, it's definitely a concern because if you go into it, the difference is with those areas, if you go into it, you at least have traffic lights and different. It will be bottleneck, but there is a different, you know, but it's not affecting the businesses like it is here. So
Church Street,
it's anything that we can do to try to open it because it's just not good for those businesses. And we've had so many people that just, it's a safety issue when you've got.
Well, they're also coming in on Dry Valley Road. They're pulling in. I was out there the other day and I couldn't get out. There's 46, I counted 40, like he said, coming off Highway 7. There's not enough roads hard. I didn't know there's that many dump trucks in Putnam County, but there is.
But and not to disagree with what you're saying, that is true. They'll be done in 3-4 weeks, and I do understand. This has been an issue since April. It's worse right now than it normally is, but it's been an issue since April. And this has been some concerns that I've brought up, and we've been trying to find some kind of solution. I've had some conversations with Mr. Morrison about contacting Rogers Group, which he has, and if he'd like to say anything, then, you know, I don't want to misspeak for anyone, so I don't want there to be, you know, and well, I can tell you, if the police will sit down there at that 4-way, they can light them up because they are not stopping. I promise you, they're not stopping. So
that was his words to me.
So that's, if you sit around the corner and hide and you can light it up, but there needs to be, but like I said, it's been going into, this has been happening since April. It is worse right now, but we're also looking at going into the way things are expanding. We're upgrading our infrastructure every day. People are moving in here every day. This is not something that's just going to go away. So we need to try to get ahead of the curve and try to figure out some kind of solution. I mean, I think everybody wants to be reasonable. We just want to make it safe for everyone. And you know, we want Rogers Group business here. And I know I'd brought it up before, but, you know, there was a time when there was no through trucks through this area. And I'm not saying that needs to happen again. We just need to keep them away from that small business district. You know, we're trying to expand, you know, and it's kind of hard to do that when you can't bring a customer base in or anything like that to do that. So do you guys have any questions? Mr. Morrison, you like to say anything?
We have spoken with Rogers Group, and it's primarily the private carriers. Roger Groups agrees to route their trucks around. They've always been really, really helpful with that. So it is something we've looked at for quite a while now. We've talked several times, and we've tried to work through it. So I'm open to any suggestions the council has or anything you all would like to try to do.
And I think that, and I don't want to misspeak, you said how much of a time?
Yeah, so my wife owns a business right across the street. My name's Daniel Dillon, or Bubba Dillon. And so today, in preparation for this discussion, I asked her to count the trucks that came through from lunch until 5 o'clock. 233 trucks. Right, 233 trucks. Now, my wife runs a med spa business, and collectively, we're investing a ton of money in this city across from All Good Diner. And so for me, the truck work that's coming through there, look, we understand construction growth. We understand that IWC or whatever that's going to be, or Cisco now is going to expand. But the reality, my question, detrimental to this business, but it's also, and be an investor in this community. Why are we catering to somebody that has an alternate? And I agree, Roger, that will create bottlenecks off 111, but 111 is a major artery of a highway. That's the intent, not a two-lane through road from the city, right? And so for me, as we think about people that want to be in this community and invest in this community and the businesses and the families and the parks, and we have to be cognizant of those trucks. The safety, number one, but the aesthetics, right? And when clientele are making the comments about, gosh, that's loud, or man, that's tough to pull out, well, that's impacting the revenue that we get that's going to come to this city to invest. Rogers Group's not going to pick their query up and move. I promise you they're not.
Yeah.
So I really think and would urge and beg, basically, that we take consideration on that, because it's only going to continue to get worse. Growth at Cisco is one thing. That's not going to change in this, hopefully, not in this city, in this community. So I think that it's something that definitely needs to be considered. 233 trucks in half a day at a four-way stop on a two-lane is way too much traffic, especially when you're talking about people that try to cross from a restaurant to a place of business, from a coffee shop to another place of business. We're asking for a disaster.
Put it to 111, 240. Plus people coming in or to go to the
With those dump trucks, you're not gonna have, those 200-something dump trucks, how many of those are actually stopping?
I'm talking about other people getting into those.
But I'm talking about bypassing all the way and coming
The
down.
way they're coming now, they're going with it. The way they'll be coming off 111. They're gonna go with, I'm sorry, with it.
Why can they
It's
not
gonna be a-
bypass
it's gonna be a
altogether?
traffic place anywhere we put it, and a dangerous place anywhere we put it.
So why can't they bypass all the way around and come down into the quarry, go down, continue on 111, not come through the city at all?
Well, they can
They
come
can
down
still
off
come down
111,
the
down
other
straight
way.
down Main Street
Yeah.
into it. And that's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
It's the way it used to be years ago.
You're saying from that.
If we just use 111 and cut out Main Street,
Yeah, go
as
all the
far
way
as the
down,
trucks.
come down by Barky Beaver.
Put all these 200 some trucks, y'all see a flat bad four-way stop. You're gonna put it down into 4 or 5 stop signs.
Absolutely, because one, that infrastructure was built for it.
Yeah,
That
that's a
infrastructure
major
was
artery.
designed for trucks, for the heavy use tractor. It's a 4-lane interstate or highway.
I like the idea about bringing them through.
And if that's what the city decides to do,
Bad, I'd like to see us do some kind of getting together.
Hey.
Street seems like a good place to start.
it's up to the pleasure of the council.
Yeah.
Affected our business for a while. Just raising
It's probably all
concerns on
Rogers.
their end.
The
It's-
medium somewhere.
I think with the infrastructure that's out there, I think that's what it was designed for, and I think it should be utilized for that. Yeah, they gotta go through stoplights, but at the same time, you're also saying that this US Foods will be done in 3 weeks. So how much of that traffic's gonna be going to US Foods versus just getting on 111 and going to their different locations? Well,
That's half of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be an ongoing issue. So,
Yeah.
what,
Another 3 or 4.
I don't think so. Mr.
I
Williams.
think going forward, it's gonna be an issue. I think it'll slow down. Absolutely, it'll slow down.
Until the
But
next,
it's-
hopefully, investment comes.
Yes.
I mean,
Dogwood Quarry's done as far as going up there and blasting, getting more rock out there. They bought the Daco. What you're seeing happening right now is they're overburdened, they're using for fill, they've got mountains of that. And that, you're right, they are probably gonna be moving that. They've made a deal out here per ton, and they're having to build this up with big chunk rock. They've got a mountain of it over here to move. Once that project's over, that'll stop. Of course, there may be another project somewhere, and there's a lot to be moved over there. The only other thing you're talking about doing is going back out Main Street toward Livingston and getting on 111.
yes, sir.
That'd be a death trap right there to people coming up 111. I don't know, Chief, come in here, chime in when you feel like, I don't know that them trucks can get across there without killing somebody. There's no traffic light there.
They do it every day, they just haven't done it on this scale. And as far as the quarry goes, somebody that's in the excavation business, I own dump trucks myself. I mean, I've got 5 dump trucks on the road every day. And they're hauling crusher run, they're hauling number 2, they're hauling number 4, they're hauling overburden. It's all coming out of there. Their asphalt millings is coming out of there. So it's not like this is just gonna stop. They're gonna continue doing that.
Well, they're not gonna continue to crush.
No, they're not gonna continue to
They're not
crush,
gonna
but
make any more rock,
but they're
and that's-
selling and loading out of there because
Yeah.
they're bringing in, because I've got 2 trucks
When
with
that
Rogers Group
ends-
hauling
when that
to
ends,
that
that'll end.
to that plant.
When that ends, that'll end.
So what was Rogers Group's agreement? I mean, if Rogers Group says that they have their trucks do it and it's private truck, what's the difference in Rogers Group's truck going a different route than private truck going?
And they have. Rogers Group trucks don't come through. It's the subcontractors or the contractors. The people like myself that, okay,
We're not arguing that they are.
yeah. I'm gonna leave it up to the pleasure of the council, but, no, absolutely. But that's where the city administration needs to step in and say, this is a danger and it's a detriment to the businesses in this.
And we'd have to pass an ordinance or something. I
Something
mean,
that will have to be-
and that would
something will
take
have
some
to be-
time too, so.
Yeah, at least to me, here's the thing, I'm not looking for a resolve tonight. I'm
Absolutely.
here to bring it to the attention.
That's all I'm talking about.
I'm here to bring it to the attention, so if we need to do a study, if we need to let's try an alternate route and see if that makes a difference. Whatever we need to do, to try to bring it to the attention.
I've
to try
been
to-
around half a day today trying to
Yeah.
find different ways to do it. I heard everybody's problem, everybody's what I'm saying is,
Sounds like we got options. You know, Mr. Williams, I think that it can be something that we consider. What we're asking, what I'm asking, Jeremy and I are both probably asking the same thing, is that it be considered. Because
Yeah.
again, we want the investment, I'm making the investment, right? And so for me, that's a nuisance for where we're building a huge investment in the city. So if we're not listening to that portion of the community, who are we listening to? That's the only question I have, right? I mean, and I appreciate you being out asking that question. That's fruitful for sure. All I'm asking is that we consider something, and we can wait and see. That's good information, Bob, that they're doing. And
Yeah.
it's true, they're not going to be blasting out.
No, they're definitely not doing blasting, but
They may be
But
getting rid of their stock.
we would have to be naive to think they're not gonna continue selling rock out of there, because they are. I've got trucks hauling rock to that location every day. They stock up on 57 pressure, that, they're relocating it, you know, to make it convenient for other spaces, so. Anyways, that's all I have to say. If y'all have
Agreed.
any questions, everybody has my number, surely, hopefully, maybe.
call Jeremy if you got any.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Guys.
I mean, one thing's for certain, Chief, if people are blowing through that, they're going too fast or not stopping where they need to stop, thank you. Yeah. That's right, that's right. Thank you, gentlemen. Anyone else?
I got one question, I quit. What about the house? December won't have anything. I'm taking up time. That's good.
Hearing none, I'll take a motion. Thank you for the update, Mr. January 14th. I'll take that motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're good. Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a great holiday, Christmas, New Year's. Thank you for attending.